I like doing that. When I was in my 20s, I worked for a large newspaper group in London called The Observer. I seemed to have a bit of the gift of the gab and consequently became quite successful as a salesperson. One day, my line manager wanted to celebrate the fact that I had become his top salesman and invited me to go away for the weekend to a pop festival. I'd arranged to meet him on the next Friday evening at 9 p.m. at King's Cross Station, where I would be picked up in a van of some sort with some other of his friends, and then we'd go to the festival. I went home on the Friday with every intention of going on the trip. I was feeling a little bit tired after work and the journey home, so I sat down to gather my thoughts. I closed my eyes for what seemed to be just a matter of 2 or 3 minutes and then opened them again. To my surprise, I saw my answering machine, remember those? Blinking with 11 missed messages. I thought to myself, that's impossible. How could I have missed 11 messages? What time was it? I checked the time, it was after 11 p.m. I'd only shut my eyes for a matter of moments. That's impossible. Somehow time seems to have jumped 5 hours ahead and I was now far too late to go on the trip. I listened to the messages which confirmed that my rather upset manager had left without me. This was back in August of 1986, some years before the advent of mobile telephony. Now I felt really foolish because I'd missed out on what was described as an opportunity of a lifetime to go to this particular concert. And I was equally upset with myself for having missed out on an opportunity to bond with my manager for the weekend. After a sort of uneventful weekend and 3 good nights sleep later, I woke up early on the Monday morning. I opened my eyes with a strange sort of eerie feeling. My portable television automatically came on at 7 a.m. as normal with the morning news. And within moments, I was awake and witnessing the aftermath of a horrific motorway crash. I think you know what I'm about to say. There were live pictures of this overturned coach which had come to rest on top of a mangled blue van. Now I laid in bed watching my portable TV and suddenly received a chilling thought. Maybe you could call it a premonition. Today I would say it was the Holy Spirit. But whatever it was one of those thoughts that I couldn't shake off. And it was the thought that you would have been in that van. When I got to work that morning, I told everyone about my premonition. Then I realized that my manager had not arrived at work. At midday, our director came to the office to make a very sad announcement to us. I already knew what he was going to say, and so did half of the department. The driver and all the passengers in the blue van had perished. Beloved friends, there was due to be one more passenger in that vehicle, but I did not make it. And this was 10 years before I would come into a relationship with Jesus Christ. Yet, he put me into a supernatural sleep, and consequently, I missed that van. God put a hedge around me and fenced me in from destruction. It still took me 10 years before I would come into a relationship with Christ because I had no idea what God had done for me. I remember some years later driving a sister from church home, and on the way home she was telling me all these marvelous testimonies of great things that God had done for her. And I can remember sitting in the car and saying to her, it's wonderful hearing all these stories about all the great things that God has done, but he's never done anything like that for me. And as I sat there, I heard the voice of the Lord, and he whispered in my ear, you remember that night when you fell asleep? And suddenly my visage changed with the realization that it was him. that put me to sleep. I had never acknowledged Christ for my life. Until that moment, I sat in my car and I said, that was you? That was you, Lord? That was you? Are you telling me that was you? I never realized it until that night. God did something incredible for me and I need to tell the world about it. Well, now I have. God saved my life in my car. And that's the reason why I can sit here today and share the good news of the gospel with you. Dr. Hugh here saying thank you for passing by and I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, please put a like on it. Maybe leave a comment. Definitely subscribe. And listen, when you do, you'll see a little bell icon. If you smash it, we'll be able to let you know every single time we put out a new video. I pray you have a great day.